My name is Caroline Dietrich, and I'll be sharing my professional growth over the past 2 years. My first induction goal this year was to create an engaging and technology rich classroom environment that inspires and motivates my students. I think I definitely did a really good job on this. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, spoke with colleagues, and tried a lot of new things. For example, as you can see, Chatterpix, Flipgrid, Screencastify, and Mystery Hangout. Those were all examples of ways that I utilize technology to keep my students engaged. Obviously, I still have so much room to grow, and I want to continue to try new things with technology. My second part of my induction goal was to differentiate instruction to meet my students' needs. I implemented a lot of small groups this year, especially in language arts, so that I could meet the different needs of my students. I think I did a good job overall, but once again, I would love to keep working on differentiating, especially in math. These are the parts of my CSTPs that I improved on. A lot of my growth was in uh, meeting student needs and then also getting to connect with parents. I think one of the benefits of distance learning this year was getting to connect with parents a lot more. In what ways have you surprised yourself? So, my first way would be resilience. I think I found teaching to be a lot harder than I ever expected, but I was able to push through. And I think that my willingness to keep trying, even if it doesn't go well, has been a huge asset for teaching, which kind of goes with flexibility. So I'm not afraid to try new things. I'm also not afraid to discard things that I don't think works. I also think that I've gone through an immense amount of growth in 2 years. It's been a hard road, but a fun one. And I feel like I've learned so many new things. I almost don't feel like a new teacher anymore. And then lastly, my ability to connect with my students. I think I've created really strong relationships, and I think they understand how much they mean to me, which has contributed to my ability to teach them. So, my professional growth goal beyond induction is to become strong in educational technology and be able to support my colleagues in trying new things in their own classrooms. I think this is such an important aspect of education today, and I want to be ahead of the curve so that I can provide support to others. I'm currently working on my master's in educational technology, just finished my first semester, which will be extremely helpful for my growth. I will implement ideas taught through the program and reach out to colleagues about trying new technology implementations. I've actually already started doing this with my distance learning, which has been pretty cool. It's been fun to help my colleagues. My goal is to try new things and later refine them, and this will be evident in my daily classroom practice. So I think social media is definitely the greatest resource for staying connected. Especially Instagram and Twitter will help me learn about new strategies, and I've been utilizing those, and they've been crazy helpful. Um, in terms of maintaining how to be a passionate educator, I have realized over the past 2 years how important boundaries are. So, my plan is to set daily goals for what time to leave work and make sure that I'm only working from home if I really need to. And something I've learned this past year is that if I'm having a bad day, I can allow myself to go home and take a break. I'll also stick to daily routines and especially my exercise routine. And I think a big part will be finding time every week to speak positively about my students and my own teaching successes so that I can remind myself why I love my job. And lastly, my advice for new teachers. My number one piece of advice is to be okay with struggling. There's a huge learning curve that comes with being a new teacher, and you're going to fall down a lot. It's okay to be upset about your failures, but not to dwell. If something doesn't work, try something else. Remember that relationships with your students is the most important part of teaching, but don't ever feel like you have to be perfect. And lastly, do not expect yourself to have the same knowledge and expertise as someone who is not a new teacher. The point is to learn, not to compare.